Applied weed management. Weed definition, damages caused. Weeds. In the world there are 30,000 weed species, out of these 18,000 SPS cause damage to the crops. Jethro Tull first coined the term weed in 1931 in the book, Horse Hoeing Husbandry. Definition. Weeds are the plants which grow where they are not wanted. Jethro Tull, 1731. Weeds can also be referred to as plants out of place. Weeds are unwanted or undesirable plants compete with crops for water, soil nutrients, light and space and thus reduce crop yields. Weeds are competitive and adaptable to all the adverse environments. It has been estimated that in general weeds cause 5% loss to agricultural production in most developed countries, 10% loss in less developed countries and 25% loss in least developed countries. Damages caused, harmful effects of weeds. Of the total annual loss of agricultural produce from various pests in India, weeds account for 45%, insects 30%, diseases 20% and others 5%. The losses due to weeds depends on 1. Type of weed. 2. Severity of infestation. 3. Duration of infestation. 4. Competitive ability of the crop plants with weeds. 5. Climatic conditions which affect the growth of the crop and the weed. The following are the harmful effects of weeds on various activities of human beings, crops, livestock and related aspects. 1. Weed menace in agriculture. 2. Weed menace in animal husbandry. 3. Weed menace to human health. 4. Weed menace to aquatic ecosystems. 5. Weed menace to forest and pasture land. 6. Weeds as alternate hosts to crop pests and diseases. 7. Weeds reduce land value. 8. Weeds limits choice of crops. 1. Weed menace in agriculture. Reduction of crop yield has a direct correlation with weed competition. Weeds compete for water, light, nutrients and space. Weeds compete for water in dry land and for nutrients in irrigated crops. It includes reduction in crop yields and production efficiency and erosion of crop quality. Reduction in crop yields and production efficiency is direct effect due to weeds. It varies from 34.3% to 89.8% depending upon the crop. In rice 30–35%, wheat 15–30%, maize, sorghum, pulses, oilseeds 18–85%, sugarcane 38.8%, cotton 47.5%, sugar beet 48.4%, and onion 90.7%. Harvest may be difficult when the field is invaded with wild safflower, Carthamus oxycantha, Canada thistle, Cirsium arvens, cocklebur, Xanthium stromarium. Couch mucuna pruriens cause itching to the labor. Harvesting becomes troublesome when the field bindweed Convolvulus arvensis and Morning Glory, Ipomea sp. bind the crop plants together. The weeds at harvest may increase the excessive wear and tear of the farm machines and thereby increase the cost of production to separate the weed seeds from the grain and other farm produce. Erosion of crop quality. In dry land agriculture, weeds cause severe moisture stress and force the food grains to shrivel. The vegetables and fruits are discolored and shaped in the presence of weeds. Contamination of food grains with poisonous weed seeds fetches low price. Foundation or certified seed is rejected if weed seeds exceed 2% and also the market value is reduced. The quality of the sugarcane crop is also reduced due to the presence of the parasitic weeds Trigger litura. Whereas leaves of Loranthus Dendrophthus falcate impair the quality of tea. Leaves of Micania micrantha create problem in tea plantation. In cotton, the dry weed fragments adhere to the lint and hinder its spinning process. In India, cocklebur, Xanthium sartomarium, reduce the quality of wool in sheep. Oil quality of mint was impaired by Cirsium arvens. 2. Weed menace in animal husbandry. Milk gives odd smell when animal fodder crops are mixed with wild onion and wild garlic, Cichorium intybus, Ajmon mexicana. Certain weeds cause sickness and death of animals due to high levels of alkaloids, tannins, oxalates, glucosides or nitrates. Death of herds of sheep occurs due its high oxalate content of Haligeton H. glomeratus. It is dominant weed of arid and semi-arid region. Leaves of lantana cause acute photosensitivity and jaundice in animals was due to the toxic principle of lantredin. Puncture vine, Tribulus terrestris, a weed of dryland induces extra sensitivity to light in sheep and puncture of the animal skin. In Kashmir, rhododendron cause diarrhea and showed blood stains in milk. Crotalaria spp. Is fatal to chick, whereas sweet clover, Melilotus alba, contains ticumarin which act as anti-blood coagulant. 3. Weeds as alternate hosts to crop pests and diseases. In rice crop, Echinoclea and Panicum act as alternate host for stem borer, whereas in maize Chenapodium album acts a host for stalk borer and beetles and cutworms in case of tomato. Crotalaria spp. Act as a May host for hairy caterpillar which affect castor crop. Diseases. Wild mustard act as alternate host for clubroot, blackleg along with cabbage, cauliflower and for stem rust. Wild oats as alternate host which is major disease of wheat, oat, barley. 4. Reduction in land value. Land unsuitable for economic crop production when land infested with Cyparu rotundus. Cynadin dactylon. Thousands of hectares of cultivable area in rice-growing regions of India have been abandoned or not been regularly cultivated due to severe infestation of nutgrass, Cyperus rotundus, and other perennial grasses. 5. Weed menace to human health. Hay fever and asthma aggravated by pollens of Ambrosia artemisifolia. Parthenium hysterophus poison ivy, Rus sp, common ragweed, Ambrosia artemisifolia are responsible for respiratory problems and skin allergies, dermatitis. Aquatic weeds like water lettuce, Pistia lanceolata, Salvinia, Salivina auriculata, alligator weed, Alternanthera sp, act as alternate host and vectors of malaria, yellow fever, encephalitis, dengue fever and filariasis. Wheat flour contaminated with seeds of cocklebur gives bitter taste to the bread and irritates the gastric tract of the consumer. When the Mexican poppy seeds, Ajmon mexicana, crushed with mustard seeds cause death and blindness of people. Milk from animals feed on the Mexican poppy weed can cause glaucoma in humans. The Ajmon toxicity is due to an alkaloid called sanguinarine and 11-oxytriacontinoic acid. 6. Weed menace to aquatic ecosystems. Aquatic weeds make the appearance of water bodies repulsive and decline their recreational value. Weeds hinder the navigation, fishing and slow down the flow in irrigation channels. Aquatic weeds upon decomposition emit offensive odors and pollute the drinking water bodies. 7. Weed menace to forest and pasture lands. In Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, large forest area come under the grip of Parthenium hysterophorus. In West Bengal, 11% of high forest area and 38% of plantation forest have been affected by Micania micrantha, Mile minute weed. 8. Limits choice of crops. Crops differ in their ability to compete with weeds. In many instances, the presence of a particular weed in the field limits the choice of crops to be grown. Heavy weed infestation renders some economically important crops, particularly pulses, vegetables, cotton, jute and forage crops unsuitable or less suitable for cultivation.